Hi guys, good evening, and I hope everyone is doing well. And let's just wait for a few people to join in. And also, I want to tell all of our viewers that every Wednesday, since last Wednesday, every Wednesday we will be going live with a specialist from Zydus Hotel. Sorry, I'm really sorry. We will be going live with Zydus Hospital, and there'll be one specialist who will be joining us on every Wednesday and talk about something related to their specialization. And today we'll be going live with Dr. Hardik Kotecha from Zydus Hospitals, and he's currently associated with Zydus Hospitals in Ahmedabad as a full-time consultant. He is a gastroenterologist, and he has also been the. So we have received a request from them, so we'll just accept.
Hello.
Hello, Dr. Hardik, how are you?
Fine, fine. How are you?
Good, thank you for asking. So, I was just telling our viewers about you. So, you are currently associated with Zydus Hospitals in Ahmedabad, and you work as a senior gastroenterologist, and you are also a consultant.
Just a second.
You're not able to hear me?
But I think her voice is on the low side. Actually, you want a headphone?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but your voice is broken.
Is slightly low.
I can find my headphones, and then can you hear me now?
Yeah. Now I'm able to hear you properly.
Okay. Okay, great. So, doctor, how are you?
Fine. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. So, I was giving our viewers a brief about you. So, Dr. Hardik is associated with Zydus Hospitals in Ahmedabad, and he works as a full-time consultant. He's a gastroenterologist over there. So, doctor, we have a lot of questions today we want to ask you and clear some misconceptions and myths about gastric refluxes. So, before starting the session, would you like to say anything to our viewers?
So, good evening, everyone. So, I would just like to give you some introduction about what is gastroesophageal reflux. So, our esophagus is our food pipe. Okay, it takes the food from our mouth and the throat into the stomach. Then, from stomach, there is small intestine and large intestine. Stomach basically acts as a reservoir. It mixes all the food, and gradually after mixing it pushes down into the small intestine. So between the esophagus and the stomach there is a valve. Okay, and the function of the valve is whenever we eat anything or we drink anything, the valve relaxes and the food or liquid will pass from the food pipe or esophagus into the stomach. Afterwards the valve closes. Now acid is produced in the stomach in a normal case scenario. Everybody has acid in their stomach. It is required for digestion of food. Also, because of the acidic environment in the stomach, we are less prone to many of the infections, because many of the bacteria and viruses, they die when they come in contact with acidic environment. But because of any reason, if the valve is loose or some other anatomical problem is there and the acid in the stomach gets refluxed into the esophagus, that condition is known as gastroesophageal reflux disease.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, doctor, what are the symptoms of this disease?
So most common symptoms are heartburn and regurgitation. By heartburn, the patient will feel that there is some burning sensation in the chest
Okay.
or in the lower part of the chest, or it may come up to the neck. And there will be regurgitation. So whatever food which is ingested will come back as a bitter taste in the mouth. So that is regurgitation. These are the most common symptoms of gastroesophageal reflux disease. There can be many other symptoms depending on the patient presentation. So some patients may come with chest pain, which may be related to food or unrelated to food. Patients may come with chronic cough because small amount of reflux, when it keeps on happening, it may come till the throat and it will irritate the respiratory passages. If the reflux disease is severe and because of this there are ulcers in the esophagus or food pipe, or there is narrowing because of continuous reflux, patient may complain of dysphagia or odynophagia, which means that patient will feel difficulty in swallowing food,
Okay.
or patient will feel pain when he is swallowing food. So anytime when he swallows food, he or she, there will be a feeling of pain in the chest. That is known as odynophagia. And dysphagia means difficulty in swallowing food. So there will be complaints like something is stuck in the food pipe or something is stuck in the chest when the person tries to eat.
Okay.
There may also be sensation of nausea. That means patient may feel like vomiting or pukish. Sometimes because of dysphagia, because of the GERD, patient may feel globus sensation in the throat. That means some foreign body is stuck in the throat. Or because of continuous irritation of the upper airways, there will be change in the quality of voice. Hoarseness will be there.
Okay.
गले में खराश हो गई है, ऐसा
हाँ.
फीलिंग आए. So ये सारे symptoms हो सकते हैं.
Okay.
Then there are other symptoms which may be related to complications of the GERD. Supposing because of chronic reflux, the esophagus is ulcerated, and few cases when there is long-standing reflux can lead to development of malignancy. So if there is development of malignancy or cancer, patient may come with weight loss, patient may come with anemia, that is the hemoglobin because of some bleeding, or patient may come with history of blooding vomitus. Such symptoms indicate probably some complication has happened because of long-standing reflux.
Okay. Okay, doctor, apart from the complications in the walls between the esophagus and the stomach, are there any foods that can also cause gastric reflux?
So there are many foods, there are many lifestyle things which affect our normal physiology. Okay, so if we talk particularly about food, chocolates, tea, coffee, too much of fatty food, okay,
Okay.
then aerated drinks because they contain a lot of carbon dioxide which is pressurized. So these are some food articles which can precipitate reflux or worsen reflux in a person who is already suffering from reflux disease.
Okay. One thing I happened to notice was that a lot of these food items that you mentioned had dairy in common. So, is dairy could also affect these gastric refluxes?
Directly, milk is not related,
Okay.
or dairy products directly are not responsible. Okay,
Okay.
caffeinated drinks, so tea, coffee are responsible. So in India, we are predominantly whenever we take tea or coffee, we take it with milk.
Yes.
But many of the countries, people take black coffee or black tea
Yes.
or
Right.
green tea. Okay, so tea, coffee which are containing caffeine. Similarly, excessive use of alcohol,
Okay.
even tobacco, smoking, tobacco chewing or tobacco smoking can increase the chances of having reflux.
Okay, doctor. Doctor, is medication the only treatment to treat this problem?
No, see, there are many treatment options available. Whenever it is common notion, right, that you go to a doctor, the doctor will give you medicines.
Right.
But there are many things which are possible without medicines. Okay, most important for anybody who has reflux is lifestyle modification. Okay, so reflux happens. See, normally our intrathoracic pressure, the pressure in the chest is always negative, because whenever we take in a breath, nobody is pushing air from outside into our lungs. Okay, we actually apply suction in the lungs.
Yes.
The lungs expand and the air is sucked inside. Okay, so the intrathoracic pressure is negative, and the pressure in our tummy, the intra-abdominal pressure is always positive. Correct? So any condition which increases the abdominal pressure can lead to increase in the pressure gradient between the chest and the abdomen. So
Right.
more chance of having reflux. Okay. So somebody who is obese, whose
Okay.
weight is more, so somebody who has recently gained weight, okay, they are more prone to develop reflux disease. So one of the most important lifestyle modification which is proven is weight loss.
Okay.
Okay.
Doing
The other
exercise.
thing is, if you eat too much of food too fast and you over distend your stomach, okay,
Yes.
then the chances that stomach contents will reflux back increases. So what we advise is the patient should take small portions of meal frequently. So the stomach
Okay.
doesn't get over distended. Okay. So small frequent meals is very important. Weight loss is important if somebody is obese. The another thing is after food, okay, for at least 1 or 2 hours, the person should not lie down.
Okay.
They should remain in upright posture. Either they should sit or walk, move around, because stomach is below the esophagus. So by gravity, the gastric contents will remain in the stomach. They will not go up into the esophagus. So the chances of reflux will come down. So these lifestyle modifications definitely help a patient apart from medicines.
Okay.
One more important factor is when we are sleeping. Many of the patients have nocturnal reflux. Okay, because when we are sleeping, the action of gravity is not there. So more chances that reflux will happen. Some of these patients they get up at night because of burning sensation. They drink a glass of milk and then they feel relaxed and then they sleep. So those who have nocturnal reflux, we can ask them to elevate the head end of the bed. So they have to lie on the
Okay.
bed, and below the pillars where the head is there, you just put wooden blocks or simple two bricks and elevate it by 6 to 8 inches. So they'll be sleeping at a 10 or 20-degree elevation.
Yes.
And by gravity again the acid will not come in the esophagus. So
Yes.
these are lifestyle
Correct.
modifications. Then there are medicines. Okay. Then according to the severity of the disease and certain endoscopic findings, we have many other things also to offer. Like if the valve is too loose, we can offer a simple surgical procedure to tighten the valve and decrease the amount of reflux. Okay. If the
Okay.
valve is too loose, some part of the stomach may get herniated into the chest. So that is hiatus hernia. So we can bring it down, tighten the valve by a laparoscopic surgery. Nowadays, because of advancement in our endoscopic techniques, many of these surgical procedures can also be done by endoscopy. So these are other
Okay.
things which we do apart from the medicines which are given. Okay.
Okay. One very common medicine when it comes to gastric reflux is antacid. So, what is your opinion on these medicines?
So we give the first line of treatment because acid is getting refluxed. Okay.
Yes.
We give medicines which will either decrease the acid secretion or which will decrease the exposure of the lower part of the esophagus to acid. So antacids in general are liquid preparations which are given, okay, which will just coat the lower end of esophagus and prevent it from getting exposed to the gastric acid.
Okay.
So antacids, many of the drugs are available over the counter. And if you see the actual prevalence of gastroesophageal reflux now, it is around 5 to 20% of normal population. So if we start asking out of 10 people or 20 people, at least one or even four people will say that once in a while they do have a heartburn, especially when they have taken a heavy meal
Yes.
or much of fatty food. So reflux is very common. Okay. Then there are other group of medicines which also decrease acid secretion, which we know as H2 receptor blockers. And then there are stronger acid reducing medicines like proton pump inhibitors. So all these medicines primarily act by decreasing the amount of acid secreted by the stomach or coating the esophagus. Antacid syrups are over the counter available. Many
Right.
of the drugs ideally should be given only by prescription are also available over the counter. Anybody can go to a chemist. If they know the name, They will ask and they will take the medicines. So many patients, they treat themselves on their own by proton pump inhibitors or H2 receptor antagonists. The problem in this scenario is they don't know the endpoints. They take the medicine,
Correct.
they feel happy about it, they feel I don't need to go to a doctor, and they are not aware that how long safely it can be taken. Then they may suffer the side effect of medicines. That is a problem.
Right. There can be complications if they take it without prescription.
Yeah, so not everybody suffers side effects. See, most of the
Right.
medicines which we prescribed are safe. Okay, but there is no coin with only one side. When there are effects, there ought to be some side effects. When we
Right.
are using medicines, we are using them for the benefit of the patient. So most will not suffer the side effect. We weigh the risk and benefit, but still they can happen.
Right. And doctor, does sleeping pattern affect gastric refluxes like irregular sleep or insomnia? These things can affect this thing?
See, sleeping pattern, ideal case scenario, everybody should have a healthy sleep of 6 to 8 hours. Okay.
Correct.
Definitely, we cannot say that sleeping pattern affects the disease. But for those who are suffering from the disease, if their sleep cycle are disturbed, with the sleep, their eating patterns will also be disturbed. There are
Right.
many jobs, doctors, nurses, there are many engineers, and there are many people who work in large companies where they have to do shift duties. Okay, everybody is not going to get affected,
Correct.
provided other things are okay. But if somebody has reflux disease, their sleep is not proper, their eating patterns are not proper, if they are not able to take small frequent meals, the disease is likely to worsen.
Correct. And doctor, apart from working out and taking care of what we are eating, what are some other natural remedies that can get us relief from gastric reflux? क्योंकि कहते हैं ना कभी नानी जी के नुस्खे या दादी जी के नुस्खे अगर आपको पेट में तकलीफ है तो आप ये कर लीजिए. So what are some other
Yeah,
natural remedies? Yes, sir.
particularly for reflux, like many people who have got dyspepsia, अजवाइन खा लेते हैं
जी.
तो ठीक हो जाता है, right? So reflux, if you take milk, okay, it is a home
Okay.
remedy. So if you take milk, the symptoms of reflux may go away. But in the long run, what happens is milk contains calcium. So
Yes.
calcium will act as a stimulant for acid secretion. And then it can, after some time, it can again increase the acid secretion and cause reflux.
Okay.
So as such, there is no proven remedy that particularly for reflux disease, which will work. Only thing which is best is to take small frequent meals. That actually works.
Yes.
And for exercises, if somebody is doing exercise, like somebody is going to the gym or doing too much of weightlifting or too much of crunches, so all these exercises, some yogas are there where the abdominal muscles are getting tensed. So especially if somebody is suffering from reflux, increase in the pressure in the abdomen can increase reflux. So there will
Okay.
be, so somebody who has reflux should avoid exercises where there is too much of weight bearing or too much of pressure on the abdomen. Many people use abdominal binders for other reasons, or people wear too much of tight clothing.
Yes.
It can also interfere and increase the reflux. So exercises where too much of weight bearing is not done can be done, but weightlifting and weight bearing exercises have to be avoided.
Okay. And doctor, what are some newer treatment modalities for GERD?
Yeah, so I was telling you there are many things which we can do endoscopically. So
Yes.
the valve which we use, either we take stitches inside with newer devices to make it tight. There are other forms of treatment where we do radio frequency ablation of the lower part of the esophagus. Because long-standing reflux, the patient can develop Barrett's esophagus, which is a pre-malignant condition. So from Barrett's esophagus, the patient can develop cancer in future. So we can burn that mucosa or remove that mucosa endoscopically by a small surgery and prevent complications from happening.
So
So
is
these are
this
the things.
mucosa prevalent in the patient? It is already there, or it is developed due to some problems?
So that develops in those who have got reflux disease
Okay, okay.
over a long period of time. But many times what happens is that if somebody has reflux, patient is getting treated by over-the-counter medicines or by some doctor, okay, and they have not been evaluated for the disease by endoscopy and other measures. So many times it happens that patient comes to us for the first time, we do endoscopy and we find out that there is Barrett's esophagus.
Okay.
So all patients of Barrett's esophagus also don't necessarily require treatment. They only require monitoring, like we keep on doing endoscopies at certain durations to find out if there is any abnormality in the Barrett's esophagus, or we take samples from that area to check for the chances of developing malignancy.
Okay. And apart from that, what is the role of surgery in GERD?
So if somebody has got hiatus hernia, by that I mean some part of the stomach has herniated into the chest cavity. Okay,
Okay.
and because of that the valve is not able to function properly. Then we can do a laparoscopic surgery. We can reduce the hiatus hernia, and we can tighten the sphincter by wrapping the stomach around it. This will not only take care of the hiatus hernia, but it will also decrease the reflux. Only thing is, all these procedures are not absolute. Okay, so if somebody
Okay.
has got gallbladder stones and the surgeon removes the gallbladder laparoscopically, or somebody is suffering from appendicitis and the appendix is operated by surgery, then it cures the patient fully. Okay,
Okay.
while in reflux, what happens is if we do a surgery like lap fundoplication, the need of medicines will dramatically come down. But somebody who was taking medicines for reflux, like one tablet twice a day or one tablet daily, they may still need to take one tablet once in a week or once in a blue moon.
Okay.
So that the patient has to understand. Overall,
Correct.
the surgery definitely helps, but it is not 100% sure things.
Okay. And doctor, what is the role of lifestyle modifications in GERD?
Yeah, so I told at the time of medicines, I told you.
Okay, yeah,
Weight
yeah.
loss,
So
okay,
working out
small
and
frequent meals, elevation of the head end of the bed,
yes, yes, yes.
upward posture after meals. These four things are proven. They definitely help a person who is suffering from reflux. There are many other lifestyle modifications like, okay, avoidance of alcohol, avoidance of tobacco,
Correct.
okay, avoidance of too much of tea, coffee, variated drinks. This also helps, but the four things definitely help in reflux.
Okay. And doctor, what are some common misconceptions that you find your patients believe in when they come to you, or people generally believe in when it comes to gastric refluxes?
So one misconception is about medicines. So there are two opposite spectrums. Okay, there will be one patient who will be too much anxious that if they keep on taking medicines, they are going to suffer the side effects of medicines, and because of that, they don't want to take medicines. The opposite end of the spectrum is that somebody who has got severe reflux, their endoscopy is showing ulcers in the esophagus, and those patients actually need to take the medicines regularly for at least 2 or 3 months. So many times they are unnecessarily afraid, many times they are too bold and think that they don't require medicines. And the other aspect is lifestyle modification. It is always easy to preach. I can
Yes.
say you need to lose weight, but we need to give time to the patient, explain them to have their compliance. And many of the patients, they want immediate relief.
Correct.
So they may not like to comply with lifestyle modifications. Okay, somebody who has a habit of taking alcohol, now they will think that if I pop a pill of proton pump inhibitor, my reflux is getting controlled. So why should I refrain from alcohol?
Yes.
Okay, and then many times what happens is the disease may be something else. Like patient may come with chest pain. It is a common notion that everybody thinks that it is just because of gas. that I am
Okay.
having chest pain. Okay. Many times it may not be related to the reflux. It may be some cardiac problem. It may be some other problem. Okay.
Yeah.
And people will keep on taking antacids or such medicines which may not actually benefit them.
Okay.
And then when bigger complications happen, then they reach a doctor.
Okay. And doctor, one question from my side. I was really curious to know if someone is already a gastric reflux patient and they're exposed to the COVID-19 virus, is it going to get more complicated for them?
No, no, I don't
No,
think so.
it's not.
So by and
Okay.
large, I told you, this is a very common disease.
Yeah.
Okay, it is not a life-threatening disease. Okay,
Yeah.
the prevalence is very high. As I told you, 5 to 20% of normal population do have reflux once in a while.
Yes.
Only thing which is probably important to understand for all the common man is there are certain alarm signals. Okay,
Okay.
where the patient needs to be evaluated properly. So somebody has got a long-standing reflux, okay, but suddenly the patient starts having dysphagia, that means difficulty in swallowing, or there is odynophagia, swallowing is causing pain, or patient
Yeah.
is losing appetite, or there is weight loss, okay, or there is development of anemia, the hemoglobin is dropping down, okay,
Okay.
or patient is having vomiting. So by and large, generally, only reflux will not lead to vomiting. So if there is vomiting, and people who are elderly, more than 60 years of age, so these are some alarm signs. If these are there, they need to go to a doctor immediately.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, doctor, I think you have answered all of my questions and I have a better clarity about gastric refluxes. Anything you would like to add before we end this session?
I think one more thing is the pregnancy itself many times, because in pregnancy there is fetus in the tummy, okay, abdomen gets
Yes.
distended, they tend to develop reflux, okay, and it is very common in many pregnant ladies to have reflux.
Okay.
It can be easily treated by antacids, and most of the medicines which we use now, they also work in, they can also be safely given in pregnancy. So that is one thing which I wanted to add.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
doctor. That gives us a lot more clarity about gastric refluxes. Thank you for joining us today and taking out your time to make us aware about this thing. We had a really good session with you.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. So guys, that was Dr. Hardik Kotecha from Zydus Hospital joining in and briefing us about gastric refluxes and the complications involved in everything from GERD surgery to treatment and modifications and lifestyle changes that we need to make. So this video will be saved in the IGTV section of our page, and we will be linking Zydus Hospital Instagram handle in the description. So if you have any questions regarding any medical treatments or any sort of medical queries you have, you can go ahead and have a look at their Instagram page. And I also want to remind you, our viewers, that we would be doing this every Wednesday. So next Wednesday we'll be here with another specialist. So till today we've done two sessions. One was on ovarian cysts and another one was on gastric refluxes. Now we'll be coming up with the next sessions and next specialists who will be addressing our queries. Till then, I'll take adieu from over here, and guys, stay safe. Till then, bye bye.